Bro, let me ask you something. What do you think really makes someone regret losing you? Is it you trying to prove something? Trying to get their attention? Nah, man. It's never about that. The real regret doesn't come from you playing games or making her jealous. It comes when she realizes she took something valuable for granted, and that's you. But listen, if you're sitting here thinking, how do I make her regret leaving? You're already focusing on the wrong thing. Because the truth is, when you level up, when you genuinely start becoming the best version of yourself, you won't even have to worry about whether she regrets it or not. You'll be too busy thriving, and that's when the regret naturally happens. So, let's talk about how to get to that point. Not for her, but for you. Step 1. The power of self-worth. Look man, before anything else, I need you to really ask yourself, were you truly showing up as your best self in that relationship? Be honest. Were you the guy who knew his worth, who set standards, who had a life outside of her? Or were you constantly trying to please her, walking on eggshells, afraid that one wrong move would push her away? Because if that's the case, the problem wasn't that she left, it's that you lost yourself trying to keep her. People don't regret losing someone who is desperate for their approval. They regret losing someone who never needed their approval in the first place. Think about it. When's the last time you really focused on you? Not on making her happy, not on proving your worth to her, but actually becoming the man who walks into any room and commands respect just by being himself. That's what real self-worth is. It's not about acting confident, it's about being confident because you know you bring value. And that starts with setting boundaries, with having a life so full that no single person defines your happiness, with chasing your own passions, your own goals, your own dreams. Not just so she regrets leaving, but so you never feel like you lost yourself again. A man with true self-worth doesn't chase validation. He creates a life where validation naturally follows. And when you get to that level, that's when people start looking back and realizing what they lost. Step 2. Living a life of integrity. Look bro, I know your mind is probably stuck on one thing right now. How do I make her realize what she lost? But that's the wrong question, because real regret doesn't come from petty moves or fake flexing. It comes from respect. And respect, that's built on integrity. A lot of guys get this part completely wrong. They try to win the breakup by showing off, making it seem like they're thriving, when in reality, they're just looking for a reaction. Or worse, they rush into rebound relationships just to prove they have moved on. But let me tell you, people can sense when it's fake. And if she sees you forcing it, all that does is confirm that leaving was the right choice. What actually makes someone regret losing you? Seeing that you leveled up for real, not for revenge, not for validation, but because you genuinely committed to becoming a better man, a man with focus, with purpose, with standards, someone who doesn't need to prove anything because his success, his energy, and his presence already speak for him. That's integrity, doing the right thing, even when no one's watching. And trust me, when you start living like that, people notice, she'll notice. And when she realizes that you're not playing games, that you're truly thriving and evolving into someone she can't replace, that's when the regret hits. Step 3, expanding your life. Bro, let me ask you something. What's more attractive than a man who's fully alive? A man who's out there, chasing experiences, growing and living life on his own terms? That kind of energy is magnetic, and that's exactly why expanding your life is the ultimate move after a breakup. Not to make her jealous, but to make yourself undeniable. And no, this isn't just about hitting the gym and posting thirst traps on Instagram. Yeah, getting in shape is great, but true growth? That's deeper than just looking good. It's about building a life that excites you. Because when you're truly engaged in life, when you're leveling up mentally, physically, and emotionally, people feel it. You don't have to prove anything, they just know. So what does that look like? It means trying new things, taking trips, even if it's just a weekend getaway to a place you've never been. It means learning skills that make you more interesting and well-rounded. Maybe you pick up a new language, learn to cook like a pro, or get into something like martial arts or public speaking. It means surrounding yourself with high-value people who challenge you to grow instead of staying stuck in the same routine. When you start expanding your world, you become a man of depth, someone who's not just existing, but thriving. And that's when people, exes included, start looking back and thinking, damn, I didn't realize what I had. But here's the thing, by the time they do, you won't even care because you'll be too busy living a life they can't keep up with. And that's the real win. Step 4, emotional growth and detachment. Bro, let's be real, breakups hit hard. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you to just move on like it's easy. You invested time, energy, maybe even love into this person. So yeah, it's gonna hurt, but here's where most guys go wrong. They let that pain control them. They react, they text out of desperation, they obsess over what she's doing, who she's with, and that right there, that's what kills your power. The real flex, emotional control. That means you don't let a breakup define you. You don't let it shake your sense of self-worth. Instead, you acknowledge the pain, you process it, and then you use it to grow. You level up, not for her, not to prove anything, but because you refuse to let this situation break you. And here's the crazy part. True detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. You stop seeking closure. You stop needing answers. You stop waiting for her to realize what she lost. And ironically, that's when she starts to notice. Because now you're untouchable. You're no longer reacting. You're just becoming stronger, sharper, and more in control of your life. And when that shift happens, that's when people start looking back and thinking, did I make a mistake? But by that point, bro, you won't even be worried about it because you'll be too busy building a life that makes you unstoppable. Step 5, building an unforgettable presence. Bro, let's be real. Regret doesn't hit when someone realizes they lost just anybody. It hits when they realize they lost someone rare, someone they won't find again. So the question is, what makes you unforgettable? Think about it. What is it that people remember about you? Is it your drive, your energy, the way you inspire others? Or are you just another guy blending into the background? Because if you were forgettable in the relationship, why would she regret losing you now? This is why you need to amplify your presence. That means stepping into the best version of yourself, not to make her miss you, but because that's how you build a life that commands attention. Work on your charisma, how you carry yourself, how you communicate, strengthen your ambition, have goals so big that people can't help but respect your grind. Develop a mindset that elevates others because people never forget someone who made them feel inspired. When you start becoming that guy, the one who's confident, purpose-driven, and full of life, you won't just make one person regret losing you. You'll become someone no one would ever want to lose again. And the best part, by then, you won't even be thinking about regret. You'll just be too busy living an extraordinary life.